Hi Nana, we were learning about the problems related to percentage composition and molecular formula. Okay, so we have finished two numerical problems. Now now we will learn about the third numerical problem. Okay, so it is like this. Empirical formula of a compound is PQ. Okay, so what is the empirical formula? Empirical formula is PQ. Ah, if its empirical formula weight is 1/3 of its vapor density. So empirical formula weight is equal to 1/3 of its vapor density, right? 1/3 of its vapor density. Then calculate the molecular formula. So what we have to calculate? Molecular formula of the compound. So we have to calculate the molecular formula. So what is the molecular formula? So molecular weight or else molecular formula weight or else molecular weight, always it will be equal to 2 into vapor density. So molecular formula weight will be always equal to 2 into vapor density. Remember that molecular formula is equal to empirical formula taken n times. What is n? N is equal to molecular formula weight by empirical formula weight, which is also equal to molecular formula by empirical formula. See, molecular formula divided by empirical formula, if you do, so you will get n value. Okay, so here first of all we will calculate this part. So what is the empirical formula weight? Empirical formula weight is equal to 1/3 of vapor density. 1/3 of vapor density. Then what is the molecular formula weight? Molecular formula weight is equal to 2 into vapor density. 2 into vapor density. Okay, so finally, so this 1/3 means it will upon reversing you will get 6. So the n value will be equal to 6, which is also equal to molecular formula by empirical formula. Or else if we get the value of n, then substitute that value of n here in this formula. Therefore molecular formula will be equal to empirical formula into taken n times. So what is the empirical formula? PQ. So it is PQ taken 6 times, which is equal to P6Q6. P6 and Q6. So this is the molecular formula of the compound. So in this way the relationship works. So that means remember that molecular formula by empirical formula will be always equal to n, and which is also equal to molecular formula weight by empirical formula weight. So like this the problem can be solved. Okay, right. So based on this numerical problem, there are some practice problems. So you have to solve those practice problems. Okay. So now we will learn the next topic, chemical equations and calculations. So this is the part which is left over in the previous video, related to previous video. Now we will start the new topic known as chemical equations and calculations. right? So in this topic, so we need to learn some definitions related to this one. So before going to practice the problem calculations related to chemical equations, first we have to know what is balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation, balanced chemical equation. It is also called as stoichiometric equation. It is also called as stoichiometric equation. What is balanced chemical equation? So it is nothing but a statement. It is nothing but a statement. A statement which describes about a chemical reaction. A statement which describes about a chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulas. In terms, by using symbols and formulas. In terms of symbols and formulas. Okay, symbols and formulas. Formulae. See, actually, in balanced chemical equation, okay, so that means in which the number of atoms of each element, are same both on reactant side and product side, and product side. Okay, so such equation or else such statement is said to be balanced chemical equation. For example, H2 plus O2 gives rise to H2O. If I write like this, so here this equation, it tells about a chemical reaction. What is that chemical reaction? These two substances will chemically combine to form water. Hydrogen and oxygen will chemically combine to form water. So this is nothing but a form of statement which describes about a chemical reaction. But here we use symbols. We use symbols and formulas to represent that chemical reaction. So if you use symbols and formulas to represent a chemical reaction, then it is said to be chemical equation. And here it is a chemical equation, but not balanced chemical equation. So, but our definition is balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation means in which the number of atoms of each element are same both on reactant side and product side. So here there are two hydrogens, here also there are two hydrogens. That means the number of atoms of this element is same, but number of atoms of oxygen is not same in both sides. So here there are two oxygen atoms, but here only one oxygen atom. So, but in balanced chemical equation, the number of atoms of each elements are same. So in order to make it this particular chemical equation, a balanced equation, what we have to do? We have to balance. So we have learned all these things in our previous class, or else previous in 9th class ICSE. So now upon balancing, finally we got this one, and this is called as stoichiometric equation, or else balanced chemical equation. So like this balanced chemical equation will be. Remember, to perform calculations compulsory we have to use only balanced chemical equation. We should not use the unbalanced chemical equation. Unbalanced chemical equation is also called as skeleton equation. Always we have to use only balanced chemical equation for the calculation purpose. So this balanced chemical equation, it will convey some information. It will give information. What does the information given by this this balanced chemical equation is? So first of all, this by looking into this balanced equation, we can say that what are the participating reactants and participating products. So first information is, what are the participating reactants and products. So by looking into this equation, so that information can be generated in our mind. Now, so this reaction is between the hydrogen and oxygen, and due to the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, so water is formed. So like this. So this information is conveyed by this particular balanced chemical equation. What are the participating reactants and products, and also about the number of atoms or molecules, and about the number of atoms or molecules. Okay, number of atoms or molecules of each reactant and product. Of each reactant and product is also conveyed by this balanced chemical equation. So that means this particular hydrogen is 2 molecules, this particular oxygen is 1 molecule, and this particular water is 2 molecules. That means when 2 hydrogens combine with 1 molecule of water, 1 molecule of oxygen, so 2 molecules of water is formed. So that information can be generated in our mind. So by looking into this balanced chemical equation, that means this balanced chemical equation will convey, okay, the information conveyed, conveyed by balanced chemical equation. Information conveyed by balanced chemical equation is, the first information is what are the reactants and products, and how many number of atoms or molecules of each reactant and products are involved in this particular reaction. And also it tells the molecular mass of reactants and products taking part in the chemical equation. So actually there are 4 hydrogen atoms, means, so altogether how many? 4 grams. 2 oxygen atoms means it is equal to 32 grams, and 2 water molecules means 2 into 18 grams. That means 4 grams of hydrogen will combine with 32 grams of oxygen to form 36 grams of water. So that means how much amount of reactant in grams and how much amount of products are present during this reaction can be known by looking into this equation. So that means mass related also information also we can generate it, because by looking into this one, 4 hydrogens means 4 grams, 2 oxygens means 32 grams. So like this. That means molecular mass of reactants So that means relative molecular mass. Relative molecular mass of reactants and products. Relative molecular mass of reactants and products. Okay, taking part in chemical reaction. Taking part in chemical reaction. In chemical reaction can be, that information can be conveyed by balanced chemical equation, and also the relative volume, okay, of reactants and products, okay, and reactants and products, okay, is also known how, because if the reactants and products, if they are in gaseous state only, then the volume of reactants and products can be known. If they are in gaseous state, that means the substance which is in gaseous state, so its volume can be known. Okay, see, always remember that at STP, at a particular temperature, at standard temperature and pressure, 1 mole of any gas will be equal to 22.4 liters. So here, how many moles of hydrogen? So here the coefficient is 2. So always coefficient will indicate the number of moles. So here 2 moles of hydrogen. So that means how much volume of hydrogen, because it is a gas, hydrogen is a gas. So as it is a gas, we can measure the amount of this particular substance in volumes also. Okay, so here 2 moles. Every 1 mole equal to 22.4 liters. So as it is 2 moles, it will be 2 into 22.4 liters. That means 44.8 liters of hydrogen will combine with how much? It is 1 mole. 1 mole of oxygen means 22.4 liters of oxygen. Okay, to form, suppose if it is in vapor state, then also here it is equal to 2 moles, that means 2 into 22.4 liters of water. So like this, the information can be known. Okay, so this is the important thing. Already we know at STP 1 mole of any gas, it occupies 22.4 liters. Right. See, now we will learn how to solve different problems based on this balanced chemical equation. Now we will solve some problems also. Solving the problems based on what? Balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation. So first we will learn one example. Calculate weight of carbon dioxide, gas. Okay, carbon dioxide gas. Next, so what we have to calculate? The weight of carbon dioxide gas and also the volume of carbon dioxide gas. Volume of CO2 gas. Okay, CO2 gas evolved. Weight and volume of CO2 gas okay, which is evolved at STP, under STP conditions, when 5 gram of 5 gram of calcium carbonate is completely decomposed. When it is completely decomposed, when it is completely decomposed by heating, so this is the question. So how to solve? So in order to solve such questions, first we have to write the balanced chemical equation. First step is write the balanced chemical equation related to this reaction. So what is happening in this reaction? So decomposition of calcium carbonate is taking place. So calcium carbonate, upon heating, it will break down. Decompose means break down into calcium oxide. Okay, so this is solid actually. This is also solid, and some carbon dioxide gas is liberated, evolved. So this is the equation required, balanced chemical equation. So check whether it is balanced or not. Yes, it is balanced. Now, first we have to write the balanced chemical equation. Next, second point is write molecular weights of only those elements which are asked. So, write the molecular weight of those elements only which are asked. So here, so calcium carbonate is given. So here, what is the molecular weight of calcium carbonate? So calcium is 40 plus 12 plus 48. So it will be equal to 100. So molecular weight of calcium carbonate is 100. So what we have to write? The molecular weight of the substances we have to write. So don't write all the molecular weight of all the substances, no need. We can write, no problem. Even we can write the molecular weights of all the substances also, but so it is I mean, if it will be better if you write only the required things, so in order to avoid confusion. So what is the molecular weight of carbon dioxide? It is 44. The molecular weight of this calcium oxide is neglected, no need, because so here calcium oxide, it is nowhere asked in the reaction. So that means we have to write the molecular weights of only those elements or compounds which are asked for in the given problem. So neglect the molecular weight of those elements or compounds which are not asked, right? Next, the product of so here, so actually, so after knowing this one, next to find the weights of the substances. Now we can find the weight of the substance. Third one is based on the problem. So first these two steps are essential. So now after that one, so first we'll find the weight of the carbon dioxide gas form. So find the weight of substance. So actually, according to this balanced chemical equation, 100 grams, if 100 grams of calcium carbonate is heated, if 100 grams of calcium carbonate is heated, 44 grams of carbon dioxide is formed. But here in the question, so 100 grams of calcium carbonate is not given. How much? Only 5 grams of calcium carbonate is heated. Suppose 100 grams is heated, only 44 grams of carbon dioxide is formed. If only 5 grams are heated, then how much amount of carbon dioxide gas is formed? So by using this relationship, so finally we can calculate X as 44 into 5 by 100. So how much it will be? So it will be around 5 ones are 520s are, so 4.4, okay, so 2.2, so it is 2.2 grams. So that means if 5 grams of calcium carbonate is heated, how much amount of carbon dioxide is produced? 2.2 grams of carbon dioxide is produced. So weight of carbon dioxide gas evolved is 2.2 grams. And also volume of carbon dioxide gas evolved at STP. See, already we know that. So this is a carbon dioxide is a gas. So how many moles? 1 mole. 1 mole of carbon dioxide is, so this is a balanced chemical equation. So here only 1 mole of carbon dioxide is liberated. So I mean, according to balanced equation, so 1 mole of carbon dioxide is formed. So 1 mole means it is equal to 22.4 liters, because it is mentioned STP conditions. So under STP conditions, if 1 mole of carbon dioxide is present, so 22.4 liters will be liberated. 1 mole means 44 grams. If 44 grams means, that means 44 grams means 22.4 liters. 1 mole of carbon dioxide will be 44 grams. Then if 44 grams of CO2 is equal to 22.4 liters, but here 44 grams of carbon dioxide is not liberated because we used only 5 grams. We didn't use 100 grams. If 100 grams of calcium carbonate is heated, then we will get 44 grams. But here we have heated only 5 grams. Hence we got only 2.2 grams. So if 44 grams is equal to 22.4 liters, if 44 grams of carbon dioxide is equal to 20.4 liters, then 2.2 grams of carbon dioxide, okay, under STP condition, okay, so it will be equal to how many liters? It is equal to how many liters? Then upon calculation, then X will be equal to what? 22.4 into 5. Sorry, 22.4 into 2.2 by how much? 44. So how much it will be? So 22 ones are, so 10 to the power of minus 1, 22 twos are, so it will be around 1.12 liters. It is 1.12 liters. So that means volume of carbon dioxide gas evolved at STP is how much? When 5 grams of calcium carbonate is heated, so the volume of carbon dioxide evolved is 1.12 liters. So like this, the problem can be solved. Okay. So these are basic concept. So these are the things. First, these two things are essential. So first we have to write the balanced chemical equation and write the molecular weights, or else here we may write the moles, the number of moles of each and every substance also we may write. So depending upon the type of problem, so we may use different, we may use either grams or else we may use moles, like this. So we will solve some more numerical problems so that we'll come into an understanding. So now we will solve numerical problem. So weight relationship, numerical problems based on weight relationship. Weight relationship. So based on that we will solve some problems. Numerical problem 1 we will see. Calculate amount of lead which can be obtained from 6.85 kg of red lead. What is the formula of red lead? Red lead is Pb3O4. So atomic mass of lead is given as 207. Oxygen is given as 16 atomic mass. So how to solve this one? So what is the question? We have to calculate the amount of lead which can be obtained from red lead. See, when this substance is heated, what happens? So this will decompose. If it is heated, it will decompose, okay, and form lead. Okay, so here how much amount of lead can be obtained? So upon balancing you will get 2O2. So this is balanced chemical equation. First step is write the balanced chemical equation, and after writing the balanced chemical equation we have to write the masses of molecular weights of these substances. So the molecular weight of this one is, how many lead atoms are there? 3 into 207 plus 4 into 16. So how much it will be? It will be around 685 grams. So here 3 into 207, 621 grams. So no need of writing mass of oxygen now, because so we are interested only in the lead and lead oxide. Okay, so these two are, so that means when 685 grams of red lead is heated, so 621 grams of lead is formed, it is obtained. So this balanced chemical equation says that from 685 grams of red lead we will get only 621 grams of lead. But here in the question, how much amount of red lead is heated? So here 6.85 kgs. So suppose if it is 6.85 kgs, then how much amount of lead is obtained? So it will also be in kgs. So upon cross multiplying, so finally x will be equal to what? So if it is 60, suppose if it is 6.85 kg, then you will get, sorry, if it is 685 kg, you will get 621 kgs. If it is 6.85 kg, how much? So finally x will be equal to 621 into 6.85 by 685. So how much it will be? 1 by 100. So it will be 6.21 kg. So like this. So finally you will get a, so from 6.85 kg you will get a 6.21 kg of lead we will get. Okay, so like this. So in this way we can calculate the given problem. So it is how much? So when 6.85 kg of red lead is heated, we will get 6.21 kg of lead we get of lead we will get. So this is according to balanced chemical equation. So if it is 685 kg, suppose if it is kg, then it is also will be in kgs. Then if it is 6.85, then it will become 6.25. So like this. So based on this, we can solve the numerical, practice problems also. Now we will learn another numerical problem. So did you understand this one? So here this first we have to write the balanced chemical equation, and we have to write the molecular weights of the only required reactants and products. So this is the molecular weight of this one, and this is the molecular weight of this one. So that means total weight. So molecular weight into 3, because here, so this its atomic weight is this much, but it is repeated for 3 times. So total weight of this one will be this, and total weight of this one will be this. So that means from 685 kg of lead, so how much amount of lead is produced? 621 kg of lead is produced. So from this data we can find the amount of lead produced when 6.85 kg of lead oxide is used. So in this way we can calculate the given solution. Now we will learn the numerical problem 2, another one, okay. Numerical problem 2. So what is the question? Calculate weight of sulfuric acid required. Okay, and also weight of copper sulfate formed. Weight of copper sulfate formed when 2.56 grams of copper reacts. Okay, reacts completely okay, as given in the equation, So what is the equation? See here in the question. So copper, its atomic mass is given as 64, sulfur atomic mass is given as 32, oxygen atomic mass is given as 16, and hydrogen atomic mass is given as 1. And also, so the equation is given like this: copper plus H2SO4 is raised to copper sulfate plus SO2 plus H2O. So this is the question. So how to solve such question? So what is the question actually? So here copper is reacted with sulfuric acid. Okay. Copper is reacted with sulfuric acid to form copper sulfate. So now the and some other products are also formed. So now the question is, so calculate the weight of sulfuric acid required. So how much amount of sulfuric acid is required when 2.56 grams of copper reacts? So first of all, we have to check whether it is a balanced equation or not. One copper, two sulfur atoms, 4 hydrogens, 8 oxygens, 4 plus 4, 8. Okay. Now, after writing the balanced chemical equation, first write the masses of the required substances only. So no need of writing these things. So here sulfuric acid is required, and copper is required, and even copper sulfate is also. So we have to write the masses of these three only. So copper, only one copper, so that means 64 grams. So 2 sulfuric acid, so that means 2 into each sulfuric acid will be 98 grams, will give only one copper sulfate. So copper sulfate, what is the molecular formula of molecular weight of copper sulfate? So it will be around 160 grams. So just you calculate it, you will get 160 grams. So here it will be 196 grams. 196. 2 into 98 means 196 grams. So from the balanced chemical equation, it is understood that, so here for the production of, we'll see the relationship between these two. So 64 grams of copper require 196. It requires 196 grams of sulfuric acid. 64 grams of copper requires how much amount of sulfuric acid? 196 grams of copper sulfuric acid. So but here in the question, 64 grams of copper is not reacted. Only 2.56 grams of copper is reacted. So that means 2.56 grams of copper will require how much amount of sulfuric acid? So for 64 grams of copper, so this much amount of sulfuric acid is required. So but here only this much amount of copper is there. So for 2.56 grams of copper, how much amount of sulfuric acid? So upon cross multiplication, X will be equal to 2.56 into 196 by 64. Okay, so finally you will get what? 7.84 grams. So how much amount of sulfuric acid? So here, so X is equal to 7.84 grams of sulfuric acid is required when 2.56 grams of copper is completely reacted by this according to this equation. So weight of sulfuric acid required, so we have calculated. Next, weight of copper sulfate formed. Now we'll study the relationship between copper and copper sulfate. So copper and copper sulfate. So when according to this equation, when 64 grams of copper is reacted, 160 grams of copper sulfate is formed. 160 grams of copper sulfate is formed. But in the question, only 2.56 grams of copper is reacting. So not 64 grams of copper is reacting. So if 2.56 grams of copper reacts, then how much amount of copper sulfate will form? So if 64 grams of copper reacts, 160 grams of copper sulfate is forming. Then if 2.56 grams copper reacts, how much amount of copper sulfate will form? Again, X will be equal to how much? So 2.56 into 160 by 64. So around 6.4 grams of copper sulfate will be formed. So like this, so this answer, the weight of sulfuric acid required is how much? This much amount of H2SO4 is required, and weight of copper sulfate formed is, so this much amount of copper sulfate is formed. So like this we can solve the given problems, right? So we will learn the other concepts or else some more numerical problems in the next class.